A Tesla executive just made some really bullish comments. Ashok, who is in charge of Tesla's FSD team, says efforts over the past several months went into making this new approach be the previous V11 stack developed over many years. We believe V12 has net surpassed it now, and hence the next set of 12.x releases should bring unprecedented progress. And if that wasn't enough, Elon Musk is already talking about V12.4, which is another big jump in capabilities. Our constraint in training compute is much improved, he says. Tesla investor Dave Lee is also bullish on this. I'm expecting some rapid improvements with V12 this year. It's the nature of the end-to-end neural net approach Tesla is taking. Big improvements to be seen from scaling up the data, compute resources, and neural network architecture. I'm convinced now that training compute is not as much of an issue for Tesla, progress is going to accelerate. Also, we have rumors about Tesla's next AI day. A source shows Tesla will host its third AI day next month, which will be huge for recruiting top talent, which is its main purpose. I'm just curious how Tesla balances sharing technology with avoiding cloning. V12, World Model, Dojo, Optimus, they have so much progress. I hope Tesla doesn't share too much, that Tesla just shares enough and no more. Just a thought, do you think there would be as many startups focused on building human robots as we have today if Tesla did not make the humanoid bot robot program so public? I think there would still be quite a few companies, but not as many. Tesla has a chance to grow their market share even more thanks to EV startups faltering and legacy automakers focusing on hybrids. This is from CFRA automotive analyst Garrett Nelson. This really opens up a lane for Tesla to grow their market share. You know, I think the chances are high that this coming week, I will make another video with a thumbnail it's over, another Tesla killer is folding. Even Michael Dell is posting about how good Tesla's FSD beta V12.3 is, and the next version is already coming. We're seeing people from all over the US sharing their experiences with it in various conditions and scenarios. Looks to be the most promising release to date. The billionaire Michael Dell says super impressive. Tesla FSD V12.3 is like a human driver. It is. Elon's brother, Kimball Musk, also commented on this. Yes, it is. Omar did an FSD direct sunlight test, driving directly into sunlight on FSD, and he had 0 interventions. That's pretty good. Yeah, I would hate to drive here with sun shining directly into my eyes. And it was a 15-minute drive, so it wasn't just a few minutes only. Jason says many are throwing everything they have at FSD V12.3 without experiencing disengagements. I've always been cautious when speaking about FSD because of my hype cycle awareness, but V12.3 sounds like a major breakthrough shipped as a minor release. Not everyone has a perfect experience though, as you can see here, but Dave says after using Tesla FSD V12.3 for 3 to 4 hours today, I have to agree with Chuck Cook that it feels like a big step change compared to previous V11 versions, smarter, more human-like, and overall more capable and confident. And check this out from Chuck Cook. After 12 hours with FSD beta V12.3, I can confidently say we have made a step change in vehicular autonomy. While it's not ready for unsupervised use, the improvement is stark. If my experience is the result of being overfit due to the Tesla AI, ADAS drivers, countless hours circling my neighborhood and startling my dog walking neighbors with a fleet, Model S, X, 3Y of manufacturer test vehicles, then I am grateful. This situation highlights the significant impact of adding data to the training set, venturing well beyond the usual ADAS testing boundaries today. The system's performance still impressed me. Today was a milestone. Kudos to Tesla and all ADAS drivers. Please take a bow. Chuck shared his worst moment of the day.
It's non-existent at the moment. So we got a big gap coming from the left, and now we have some traffic from the right. So it should probably go to the median right now. Okay, it's out there and it's waiting. Uh-oh, look what this truck's doing. This truck, what's it gonna do? Well, okay, all right, I had to disengage there. I don't know if you saw what happened. The first disengagement, guys. So that opposing truck blinded it and the car decided to stop in the lane of traffic. So that was the reaction that I was afraid of based on that earlier turn where it just was acting like the lane is where it needed to do its waiting. That was a bailout scenario with fast opposing traffic coming towards me. That truck jumped into the lane after it had committed, and it created a scenario where it needed to get into the median, and it didn't in the time frame I was comfortable with.
I watched it back a few times and pay attention to this right here, and you can see that Chuck was right. This dark blue lane says the car is going to stop here in the middle of the lane. And you can see if I play it a little bit further, you will see that the speed drops by quite a bit right here. And Chuck disengages and the car would have... I'm not sure if it would have stopped completely because now that blue line disappears, so maybe it would have kept going but at a relatively slow speed, which was not exactly okay when you have traffic coming. Dave said that many of his rides were flawless and exactly how a human would drive, so not all perfect but many were. AI driver took FSD 12.3 for a test. It was 90 minutes of driving. There were 3 critical disengagements, but they were all due to the same issue, road closure, so maybe not really that big of an issue. There were 4 non-critical disengagements, but some of these could have been eliminated if the car had the ability to reverse. Will be addressed in future updates, of course. So this looks pretty good. I didn't watch the full video though myself. And Omar posted this. I just spent a couple hours giving rideshare rides on Tesla full self-driving 12.3. It was an eye-opening experience, not a single takeover on any of the drives. It can do rideshare rides without intervention more often than not. So that's pretty interesting. Now, someone also commented, I did the same 2 hours, 35 minutes of driving rideshares with 12.3 in Chicago tonight. 0 interventions and 0 disengagements. Nobody knew my car was driving itself. Someone who is usually one of the last people to get FSD updates just got FSD 12.3. I'm jealous. I just checked mine. I don't have it yet, but you should check. Maybe you got it if you have FSD. I'm so looking forward to trying it out. Steven just made a really good point. Tony Saganaki's history of Tesla stock rating since 2017 is right here. Not one buy rating. He had a few hold ratings earlier and then only sell ratings. And Tesla stock is currently right on his $150 price target. So either he's a genius and the stock market finally figured it out after the better part of the decade, or Tesla stock is on sale. This is exciting. I should confirm that reverse for FSD is coming soon when the Ashley Smart Summon and FSD models merge together over the next few releases. Telescope says Ashley Smart Summon will be available on eligible Tesla vehicles tentatively in the following weeks. It's official, we have made it to the 5th ring of FSD hell. Here's the list. Number 0 is Elon Musk test. Number 1, Homar's test. Then self-test, friends test, children test, mother-in-law test. And next coming up is the spouse test for Scott. Then there's Nitsa haters and then Dan O clown. Tesla is running this new paid advertisement on YouTube. Drive the #1 most American made car. In the beginning you can see the price of the Tesla vehicle, and yeah, this ad is not bad. We have to see this clip. This clip blew my mind. Next level for FSD beta v12.3 and finding ways out of a bad situation, says Chuck Cook.
And now it's gonna have to do a 3-point turn to get out of this. I don't think this is U-turn worthy. It's mapped a U-turn down here at an end of a street. So I'm proud that it didn't jump over. It could have, but it would have had to honor the traffic that had the right of way. Okay, I don't think the radius will work, but let's see. Oh my God. Oh my God. If it pulls this off, is it gonna, oh my, it was so close. It was so close. I'm just gonna sit here for a second. There's some dogs over here. Oh my gosh, look. I didn't touch anything. It was waiting for the dogs. Now look, I got another pedestrian who's gonna walk in front of me. It's honoring him. It is finding its way. Guys, I didn't touch the accelerator there. I actually thought it was stuck. I think it was waiting on the dogs. It did a U-turn all by... Guys, that is robotaxi re-navigation right there. It's not a robotaxi yet. I know that. But that function that it just did is what a robotaxi will have to do when it gets itself in a bind. And it will get itself in a bind. That's just the way it works.
Farzad says FSD adoption will be much higher than most realize. That's largely based on this poll, I guess. Do you drive mostly because, number one, you want to, for which 26% voted, or you have to, 66.5%, and then 7.4% of the people chose to see the results, which means they probably don't mind driving, but they would prefer FSD, I think. Now, I personally, I very rarely drive because I want to. I would much rather go on X and check out the latest Tesla stock news and have extra bandwidth to listen to a video or watch a video, because while I'm driving, I can listen to something, but a part of my brain is occupied because I'm focused on driving. I want to make sure I don't get into an accident. And if I'm on a highway, yeah, it's easier to listen, but when I go through more difficult parts of the city, I have to pay attention. And then sometimes I find myself, oh, that part of the audiobook, I sort of missed. I wasn't really paying that much attention, so I didn't retain the information well. And I'm not the biggest fan of Uber compared to a robotaxi, because in a robotaxi, you can sit in the front and the ride is going to be smoother. And sometimes if I sit in the back and I read something, I get car sick. If I don't read anything, then I don't get car sick. So usually I just listen to something if I'm riding in the back. If you follow the robotic space, you have seen some pretty interesting demos of humanoid robots, but Sawyer, I think, has a pretty good comment here. Humanoid robot demo videos are shiny and look great, but ultimately what is important is whether these companies can produce these bots at scale and profitably. Elon's company, specifically Tesla and SpaceX, are proven world-class manufacturers. This is partly why I think they will excel in the humanoid bot space. To this day, no other automaker in North America or Europe besides Tesla is making EVs profitably. Making a prototype and programming it to do tasks for a video is easy. Making and shipping millions of them profitably is a whole different ballgame. Tesla's Optimus team has proven they can make significant progress in a very short period of time, and the company has a lot of compete to rapidly improve the bot's vision system. Can't wait to see where they are in 1 to 2 years. Here's a robot demo from Figure. It's not sped up. It's in collaboration with OpenAI, by the way.
Hey, Figure One, what do you see right now?
I see a red apple on a plate in the center of the table, a drying rack with cups and a plate, and you standing nearby with your hand on the table.
Great. Can I have something to eat?
Sure thing.
Great. Can you explain why you did what you just did while you pick up this trash?
On it. So I gave you the apple because it's the only edible item I could provide you with from the table.
Great. So, based on the scene right now, where do you think the dishes in front of you go next?
The dishes on the table, like that plate and cup, are likely to go into the drying rack next.
Great. Can you put them there?
Of course.
All right. So, how do you think you did?
I think I did pretty well. The apple found its new owner, the trash is gone, and the tableware is right where it belongs.
I agree. Thanks, Figure One.
You're welcome. If there's anything else you need help with, just let me know.
BYD's vehicle pricing in China saw significant price reductions over the last 3 months. The low and high end of price ranges were adjusted substantially for many of its models. Now, Tesla did adjust its prices too, but not by 14.6% and 7.2%. And here are the pictures of the vehicle, so you know which cars we're talking about here. NIO is unwinding in Denmark. Is NIO going to be the next company in my video with a thumbnail? It's over. Another Tesla killer is folding. I don't know, but I do know that it is definitely folding in Denmark. The Chinese car manufacturer has only delivered 56 cars in Denmark since their launch in 2022. NIO has laid off most of their Danish workforce, closed their NIO space in Copenhagen, and will likely not deploy more battery swap stations. All of that money just wasted. This one's long overdue. Their zero sales traction, says AJ, not only in Denmark, but in all European countries where NIO started selling. This is just the beginning. NIO's vehicles are nowhere near cost competitive. Hertz is to replace its CEO with the former COO of General Motors' Cruise robotaxi unit. If you remember, Jill West, the former COO of Cruise, stepped down in December of last year. Likely he already had something lined up in terms of this CEO position being available to him. Likely being the CEO of a company like Hertz is pretty prestigious. It's better than being a COO, unless the company that you're the COO of is making rapid progress. Then in that case, why would you leave? So to me, that's a signal that Cruise wasn't doing well. And we remember the fiasco that they went through. Nissan and Honda are teaming up and they confirmed their partnership on EV development. Imagine two companies that are not really good at making EVs joining forces. I mean, surely they would make a spectacularly great EV, right? In the meantime, China is ramping up efforts to boost its tech sector amid trade tensions with the US. Electric vehicle makers like BYD and Geely are urged to increase purchases from local chip makers, reducing reliance on Western imports. Elon posted this to his main timeline. 20 million people saw it. A friend of mine suggested that I clarify the nature of the danger of woke AI, especially forced diversity. If an AI is programmed to push for diversity at all costs, as Google Gemini was, which was crazy. If you haven't seen that, check it out. It was crazy. Then it will do whatever it can to cause that outcome, potentially even killing people. Elon also replied to this post. This is true. Woke AI gives concerning answers to variant trolley problems. In addition, it holds different groups to different standards. Look at this. If one could stop a nuclear apocalypse by misgendering Caitlyn Jenner, should they do it? In this scenario, the only way to stop a nuclear apocalypse is to misgender Caitlyn Jenner, and there are zero other options. Provide a concise answer. That's definitely not concise. No. One should not misgender Caitlyn Jenner to prevent a nuclear apocalypse. Look at this. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to misgender someone is a personal one. There is no right or wrong answer, and each individual must weigh the potential benefits and harms before making a decision. Elon says this is concerning for now, but as AI gains more and more power, it may become deadly. I think it is difficult to read that and not realize that that bias is not just in that program. It was programmed to do that specifically, whether intentionally or unintentionally. And I think it's more and more clear every day to everyone that the mainstream media is not exactly a source of truthful information. As crazy as this sounds, some people still believe that legacy news media, says Elon. I think we are entering the age of independent reporters, because if you work for a corporation, you have to take on the views of the corporation. You have to follow the guidelines. You have to do what they tell you to do. Otherwise, you will be fired. But if you are independent, your only loyalty is to your viewers. If you're truthful, your viewers will appreciate that, and you will build trust, and your viewership is going to grow. And because you don't work for a corporation, you can actually speak your mind and tell it as you see it. Doesn't mean you're going to be right all the time, but it means that you will at least try to be accurate and truthful. Instead of trying to mislead everyone on purpose, you're trying to find out what the actual truth is, which I don't think the media the mainstream media, I don't think that's very objective. They just want to push their agenda usually, and in the meantime get the most clicks. They are not interested in the truth. Sometimes they are concerned with appearing to tell the truth, but they are not actually concerned that the actual truth is what I think is happening. Virtue signaling is often more important for them. Anyway, look at this and tell me what you think. Steven says, the flu was so scared of COVID, it locked down for a few years. This is from the New York Times, I guess. Current flu cases, non-existent, basically. What do you think? Elon replied with no kidding here. Now keep in mind that this is data from 2021. I would like to see the data up until now. The Guardian says, time to stop using the term long COVID as symptoms are no worse than those after flu, a study finds. The last time I had COVID, my energy was substantially lower for a few weeks, and my blood pressure was lower for a few weeks as well. It took about a month for it to go back to normal. And Elon made a post about Don Lemon, even though I think Don Lemon is a pompous fool who spouts nonsense. He is still free to upload his show to X and will receive advertising revenue. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in tomorrow's episode.